and welcome to my studio. My name is Jim McIntosh, and I'm the author of the book Wiresmithing, The New Look of Wire Art. In this video series, we're going to demystify wiresmithing. We'll look at some of the basic techniques, we'll look at the origin of wiresmithing, we'll even take a look at some of the tools and procedures of wiresmithing. So if you're ready, we'll start right in. I get a lot of emails from people asking, what is wiresmithing? How hard is it to do? Some of the equipment and materials needed. And that's what we're going to discuss right now. Wiresmithing came about because I was looking for a way to make contemporary designs that appealed to a lot of people, but still stick to my wire wrapping roots. I wanted to take some of the wire wrapping things I was doing and blend it with some of the metalsmithing techniques that are out there. So that's exactly what we came up with. Wiresmithing is the blending of those two things, wire wrapping and metalsmithing. So we're holding things together with wire wrapping, but we're going to use some of these other techniques such as forging, fusing, etching, some of the other things that we see in metalsmithing. A lot of people ask me, do I have to play with fire if I'm going to get into wiresmithing? No, it's not required, but it does add to some of the things that we do, such as fusing. Fusing requires a lot of fire, but in my book we'll talk about just how it is that we can safely use fusing to add to wiresmith pieces. So it isn't necessary, and we have many other ways that we can come up with the same contemporary look using wiresmith techniques. I also get the question quite often of, do I have to get special tools, or do I have to have a whole lot of room? Well, you're sitting in my studio right now with me, and there's not a whole lot of room in here. Right here are some of the tools I use. They aren't very much different than the wire wrapping tools. I'm still using flat nose pliers, wire cutters, and using rawhide mallets. See, those are all things that you're probably already familiar with. The only tools that I'm using that might be a little different is, of course, a flex shaft. We're going to use that, we'll demonstrate that in our next video of how to use a flex shaft and why we're using a flex shaft. But it's not an uncommon tool. You can get a reasonably priced one at a home improvement store. That's where I got mine. Or you can get very professional and buy an expensive one. It's all up to you and what you're comfortable with. But I want you to understand that these tools aren't expensive. The tools are not hard to find or difficult to get your hands on. I'm using a chasing hammer with a bench block. Very common tools, nothing you're going to have to worry about. I use simple files. Again, easy to find. So all of the tools necessary to complete the work that we're going to do is very simple and easy for you to get. You may already even have many of the tools that we're going to use. So it's not a mystery as to exotic tools or large machines that you're going to have to buy. We want to stick to very simple tools, just like we did with wire wrapping. I also get the question about materials. Am I using exotic materials? Well, not really. Here I'm using Argentium sterling silver. It's a wonderful material to use. You can use regular sterling. Well, you can use any material actually. Copper, brass, gold, whatever you're comfortable with and whatever the project that you're working on requires, that's what we're using. We're also using just regular cabochon stones. Again, you're familiar with these things. We're not using anything exotic in any of the work that we're going to be doing. If you've got it for wire wrapping, wiresmithing, you're going to use it again. Another question I get is, no solder? Really? Really, no solder. The techniques used in wiresmithing eliminate the use of solder. Everything is held together with prongs. The closest that we're going to get to using fire is if we're going to start fusing some of the objects that we're going to be creating jewelry with. And really, again, the tools are not difficult. A propane torch or even one of these little mini butane torches, they're really not that deadly. You're not going to burn your studio down. You won't burn your house down either if you take some of the safety precautions. So remember, if you're going to be using fire to do any fusing in any of your projects, make sure you understand some of the safety procedures before you begin doing it. That's only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to wiresmithing. There's so much more to learn. So if you're interested in learning more about wiresmithing or even wire wrapping, please visit our website at www.wiresmithing.com, or you can visit our wire wrap website at www.macjewels.com. Until next time, my name is Jim McIntosh, and always remember, practice, practice, practice.